And thanks for everyone who's joining, all the participants that are floating and flooding in. I think, why don't we just jump right into it today and talk about what's on everybody's mind right now, which is storage. And in doing that, I think what we'll do today is talk about how to incorporate storage basically into your value proposition, into the presentation overall. We're going to be introducing the problem that really is facing many homeowners today that they might not even know exists, and then identifying storage as the solution to help them solve that problem that they might not have even uncovered on their own, and give you some good tips and tricks to help you uncover that problem with the homeowner. We're going to break down the value proposition, explain the economics of batteries. Actually, it makes a ton of sense economically. And then we'll talk about battery backup design, just broadening your addressable market, some of the financing options. And then at the end of this, I'm going to talk with you a little bit about how, if you're not a Loanpal partner today, you can become a Loanpal partner, and then some of the organizations that we're involved with as well. So here's the deal. This is all about how to sell a battery. Basically, we're sharing our insights here as a result of our experience in the industry and helping a major company who will remain nameless on how to increase their battery storage sales. So what we've done in the past, and some of the things we're going to talk about today, helped many companies convert from going to not even offering battery to over 50% battery adoption. And that will be part of the talk track today. But before we do that, I think I'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about our current environment, where we are today, and what this last 4.5 to 5 months has really meant for us in this industry, what it means for our homeowners, and how we can make sure that we're empathetic to the situation that many folks are in today. So if you could, I want you to take a trip down memory lane with me, if you don't mind. Everybody, just think about your life in February of this year. Just remember February? Man, it was starting off to be a great year. Everything was looking pretty good. And then all of a sudden, the United States got hit with what many other countries have experienced prior to us, which was this COVID-19 pandemic. And it had a lot of us thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm not prepared for a pandemic, and I'm not prepared for this. It had us rushing out to the stores. We needed to stock up for shelter in place. If you remembered this in the beginning, but there were many of us, and not diminishing what's gone on at all. But just calling to note, there was a thought that this could literally kill 10% of the population. 10% of the people that got infected would end up passing away from the coronavirus or COVID-19. And so everybody was panicked. You may have participated in some of the panic. I have. I'm going to admit something to everybody on the call. I know that there's a bathroom in my home that I don't go into that frequently because it's my daughter's bathroom. And I went into her restroom to put some towels away, and in the water closet, in the actual the bathroom cubby, she had 48 packs of toilet paper stacked up all the way to the wall. Those, the Costco packs of toilet paper. She had 4 of those stacked up. We just did weird stuff. People just did weird things, like stocking up on toilet paper. People wanted to make sure that they had plenty of food. So many folks went out and they bought a freezer. There was a rush on generators. We really didn't know what was going to happen, and we wanted to be prepared for the worst case scenario, but there was nothing that rushed us or prompted us to prepare for that worst case scenario until this pandemic popped up. I got an audio question. How's the audio? Is it good? I don't want to continue on if you guys are having trouble hearing me at all.
Crystal
You
clear.
sound good.
Cool. All right, perfect. So I'm going to say something and I don't want to appear insensitive, right? But can you imagine all the stuff that we've had to deal with over the course of the past 4 to 4.5 months? And toss in the grid goes down. Toss in there's no more power to the home. Imagine all the same things that we've experienced over the course of the past 4 months, how you've adjusted to those things, and what you would do if the power went out and you no longer had energy security and reliability. Can you still work from home? Can you still keep food in the fridge? You're going to have refrigeration. What about keeping the kids entertained? I admitted this yesterday to a group of my Soligent friends. I admitted this yesterday. I was like, sometimes YouTube babysits my 5-year-old. Sometimes Xbox watches my 11-year-old for me. Right? Like that, so I admitted this. I'm sorry. I apologize for my bad parenting. But goodness gracious, if I was the primary source of entertainment for my 5 and 11-year-old, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine it right now. What happens if you can't charge your cell phone or you can't do video conferences like we're doing today? Right now, the kids are out of school. What if they couldn't do the online learning and education that the school districts had planned for them? All these things that we've had to adjust to over the course of the past 4.5 months. If we tossed in something like a power outage, could really decimate all the best laid plans that we've made. So I just want you to think about those moments. Think about where you are right now and ask yourself a question. Do you think this is where homeowners are as well? So the world's changing. Sheltering in place at this point for most of us, not diminishing anything that's gone on, has been an inconvenience. Like, it's been very inconvenient for many of us. Sheltering in place during a global pandemic without power can be deadly. So what our goal is today is to talk about how you can adjust your proposal and presentation to your customer to make sure that you're protecting them and at the same time, you're increasing your sales. The solar value proposition itself heavily relied previously upon return on investment and saving money and things along those lines. It has never been more important to think about security and reliability and protecting our customers than it is today. And that may mean that what you need to do as a solar sales professional is tweak the approach that you have with your customers. If your approach before was, hey, it's just cheaper power. Hey, you're just investing in an asset that you own, you got to pay for it. The power anyway, let's replace the power that you're buying anyway with it. There may be a more compelling reason for you to think about that conversation now that you're having with your customers up front and adjust your pitch. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So first thing for your customers, you want to make sure that they're aware of the problem, right? And so the point of me talking with you a little bit about the current situation and then illustrating, hey, think about your personal situation and what would have happened if the power would have been out, wasn't to be an alarmist. It's just, there's certain problems that we all have that don't necessarily rise to the surface until they become urgent. And so that was my prompting to you. The goal is make sure that if the customer is concerned about energy security, reliability, reliability, if they have anything that they need to protect, if they want to make sure that no matter what happens to the utilities grid, that they have cold food, their alarm works, they've got lights on in the house, then we probably need to have a conversation with them about what it would look like if they were absent of those things, and then present the solution to them, which is having a plan. Cool, these are all problems. I'm not just bringing up problems without solutions. I need to have a plan, be prepared, and help you to prepare for these situations that we're talking about today so that you can stay safe. And that's the real goal. Making sure that your customers know that there's a way that they can prevent themselves from slipping into these situations where they might not otherwise have the ability to have a solution. They might not have the ability to have they might not even know that batteries are a thing. They might not know. Some people think that batteries are a thing. They thought that's the way solar works, right? Some folks do. Let's talk a little bit more about the value proposition itself. Right? How do we make sure that we're uncovering what's important to the customer? And I think everybody on the call probably knows the way that you figure out what a customer needs is by asking them questions. Here's what having a fully integrated solution looks like. Here's the value proposition, if you will, to a fully integrated solution for a customer. You're going to have peace of mind of knowing that the things that you want to have protected are protected. You're going to have total energy control. This is true energy independence. Think about it. You're producing power with solar panels that are located on your property. You're using that power that the solar system makes, and you're also storing the electricity that is generated from the system right all on the same spot. It completes the loop. Total energy control. So does somebody want to have total control? Do they want a truly self-powered home? Do they want to make sure that they're removed as far away from the utility company as possible? Well, if that's the case, then obviously you're going to talk with them about storage solutions for their home. You're going to protect them with solar plus storage. Yes, it's going to back up the home during an outage. Yes, it's going to give you more independence and control. Yes, it's going to give you security and protection. Now, it's not security and protection in the way that we may think about it typically. It's energy security and reliability and protection from the unstable or instability of the grid. I'm here in Northern California, so I talk a lot about the major investor-owned utility that's here in Northern California, but this isn't just unique to Northern California. The utility company here is Pacific Gas and Electric, and in PG&E territory, they gave all of their ratepayers, they give all of their customers a heads up and let them know this summer that there's going to be rolling blackouts, basically planned outages. And the outages are all for good reason. It's to allow PG&E to work on their power lines to prevent fires, because they've had problems with that in the past. If you don't know about those, please research it. I won't dive into that on this call today. But the utility company is saying, hey, during the summer when you need power the most, when you're probably using the most power that you're going to use, we've got planned outages because we need to work on the lines and make sure that ultimately our power lines are safe. Nothing wrong with the utility company there. But for some folks, they're going to be out of power for extended periods of time. Some folks, it's going to be 24 hours. Some folks, it's going to be 48 hours. Some folks, it's going to be 6 hours, right? Different time periods. But you can give yourself security and protection from even planned outages or unplanned outages if you add in a storage solution in combination with your solar system. Now, I want to be really careful about this because you've got to be an expert in your utility rates. You've got to be an expert and understand exactly what your solar storage solution can do. But one of the things that you can do when you have a solar system with a storage solution is choose to use the power from the battery or from the storage system during the points of the day when power costs the most. We don't all have time of use rate plans in our areas, but For many of us who do have time of use, having a storage solution is a way where you can deploy the energy that's stored in that battery during those high cost of power times to do something called time of use load shifting, or time of use rate arbitrage. So you use the stored energy from your battery during the periods of time when power from the utility company costs the most. That can help you shave off a little bit of cost to your monthly utility bill and save some money. So your customers are going to benefit by using the battery when the utility company charges the most for the power. It puts the customer in charge of when they deploy their power and when they're buying their power. And of course, if they need to use additional power, they have additional demand, they can always generate or get that additional power that they need from the utility company. It doesn't throttle them back from being able to use power in their home. It simply is a more cost-efficient way of powering your home during those peak times. So think about what that's worth to you, right? When you talk to a customer about what solar can do for them, a lot of times we had that discussion, as we mentioned earlier, about saving money, right? You got to buy this anyway. You might as well buy it through solar system. What I'm going to ask you to do is shift your mindset. I'm going to ask you to shift your mindset today to start thinking about positioning storage in a way that you're talking about that first with your customer. You're talking about backing up and providing them with these things that we just talked about, the value proposition. You're talking about that first with the customer, the safety and security, the reliability, the being able to continue to work from home, keeping the children occupied, keeping them educated, making sure that your alarm system works. I mean, goodness gracious. Could you imagine if you're in a home 5 blocks away from one of the riots that's going on, the power goes out and your alarm system doesn't work anymore and you're home alone? I mean, I'm a 40-year-old guy that's trained in mixed martial arts for half of my life, and it makes me scared. Like I get scared thinking about it. And then there's a tangible cost, right? How much did you spend last time you went to the grocery store? What'd you buy? You fill your fridge up? What does it cost you to fill your fridge up? What about the food in the freezer? How much does that cost you? You want to make sure that that's protected in the event of an outage. For some folks, they have medical equipment or medical devices that needs to be connected just in order to make sure that they're going to be safe. If you're talking to somebody and they have a CPAP machine where they need help, help or assistance breathing during the evenings, or if they're on oxygen or anything along those lines, wow, I mean, we really need to discuss storage solutions with those customers and make sure that they understand they have an option. They have a way to protect themselves. So here's a couple questions. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk with you a little bit about how you could actually position this. So let's talk about the conversation with the customer. And I'm gonna do this with you guys. So if you can, in the chat window for me, in the chat window, I'd love for you just to think about this and answer this question. Okay, if the power went out today, what would you want to make sure you had protected first? If the power went out today, what would you want to make sure you had protected first? In the chat window, throw some thoughts in there. Think about it. It's your house. The power goes out. Good. We got AC. What else? Okay, good. We got AC. That's on there. Anything else? We got some Texas and Arizona folks. The fridge and the garage door. I like it. The fridge. Communication. Super smart. Super smart. Communication. I want to be able to communicate, see what's going on in the outside world. There you go. PC gaming. Me too. Alex, me too. It's for my 11-year-old. Let's get well pump. I love it. Yeah, if you're out in a rural area and you're on you got your own water. What else? Oh, I didn't even think about that. Cool. Koi pond. Steve's got a koi pond and he's like, hey, I want to make sure the fish are good. Wi-Fi, yeah, medical issues, all smart. Think about those things that we just listed off there. Right? All really, really solid, smart responses. Are you having that conversation today with your customers? Now let me ask you a question. Does anybody here go to Starbucks or Pete's Coffee or any kind of coffee shop on a daily basis, or run by the Jamba Juice or the Kiva Juice or something on a regular basis? Does anybody buy something on a regular basis from a store like that, like a Starbucks or a juice shop or something where you go buy on a regular basis and spend $4 or $5 to get yourself a drink? Nobody? Just me? Okay. Pre-COVID we did. Yeah, everybody says pre-COVID. Cool. I'm going to change your world. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, but I want to change your life in a positive way. If you guys haven't had boba tea yet, if you haven't had boba tea, get some boba tea in your life. I have no idea what the actual bobas are, but my goodness gracious, is that stuff delicious. My oldest son got me into it. He's like, all the cool kids are doing it. I was like, okay. Oh, it's tapioca? That's what's in there? All right, cool. Look at that. Getting educated. I love it. Let me ask this question. For those things that you listed that you wanted to protect, would it be worth $4 a day? Because for the same price as you can get a boba tea, actually it's probably less, for the same price as your Frappuccino, from the same price as you can get your kale and greens at Jamba Juice, you can protect yourself and have energy security and reliability. What about during the shelter in place? You had stay-at-home orders. Did you work from home? What if none of the stuff that you needed to work from home worked? What's the intangible cost of not being able to work from home? What do you have to do? Nobody said this, so I'm just going to call it out. If you have an alarm system on your home, what if the power went out? Would it still work? These are all things that you might not have thought about. And we might not have been focusing on this stuff prior to the global pandemic. But the reality is we need to start discussing these things with our customers. We need to adjust our approach with our customers in order to make sure that we don't fall behind. Other companies are having these conversations. And here's how the economics works. This is the reality of the economics. I thought this was the Adrian. This one looks like it might be the older version. So the storage system itself, the battery plus storage systems, $2.50 is what it costs per day. If you were to add a $15,000 battery solution to your solar offering. So if you're to add that on a 20-year $399, you're looking at $2.50 a day. So half of a McDonald's value meal. If you have retrofit battery financing, so that's through Loanpal, where you can have an existing solar system and you add the battery to it, same 15,000 on a 10-year term is about $4 a day. So if you already have a solar system, you simply need to add a battery to it. It's worth about $4 a day. Coupled at the time of an initial sale, it's about $2.50 a day. based on our current attachment rates for some companies are at 50% battery attachment rate, and they're the largest companies in the solar industry. And the reason for it is not only the things that we talked about so far, but batteries solve what some critics have called the largest problem that solar has, which is it provides a way to store the excess power that the system produces during the day so you and your family can use it at night. For folks who are working in utilities that don't have net metering or don't have favorable net metering, oh my goodness, this is huge, right? This is gigantic. It's one of the only things that the solar industry has been exposed to for criticism. And you're able to fix it by offering a storage solution. All right, so here's the stuff that I want to be really careful here. And I know some folks will get wrapped around the axle of sizing and making sure that they have critical loads. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. I want you to make sure to understand that. I'm talking to you about a situation right now that's one battery. Okay. 10 kilowatt hour battery is what we're thinking, or 13.5 kilowatt hour battery, one battery. That's what we're thinking about right now. And this is what you can back up. So if your customer says, when you ask them, if the power went out today, what would be the first thing you would want to protect? And they say one of these items, like kitchen appliances, lights, commonly used electronics, communications, well pumps, home security systems, medical equipment. They want to make sure those devices work. You know that what's important to the customer is the ability to have one battery. If they say, like I think Eric did, and I believe Alex did as well, if they say, hey, I want to make sure that my AC works, cool, we can do that. You can do that. It's just going to be a larger battery backup system in order to do that. Right? Essentially, what you need to make sure that you can do is you have, you need to make sure that you've got enough storage solution to protect the customer from having that surge pop. We'll look at some sizing tools and resources here towards the end. But for the most part, you're not backing up heaters, you're not backing up electric water heaters, stoves, oven, HVAC units and pool pumps, those things that have a high consumption for surge. So let's do this. There's two types of business models that are typical in solar. The first type of business model that's typical in solar is transactional. And the reason it's transactional is the nature of the beast, right? The reason that our interactions with customers tend to be transactional is because they have one house, they want to put solar on it. We put the solar system on the home, they live in the home, it has solar on it, we move on to the next house. What solar plus storage allows you to do is generate more sustainable business, reconnect with customers in the past, and increase referrals. So if you think about, hey, how do I reconnect to customers in the past? Well, if you have an existing pipeline of business, you've got existing customers, and those existing customers want to, have a solar system that they're happy with. That's great. Call them and talk with them a little bit about that and the system that they're happy with, or you can email them, send them a letter, whatever works best for you, and say, hey, when we first started talking, I didn't have these options. I have these options that are available now. Okay. I have these options that are available now. And then walk them through and talk with them about the solar, or about the storage solutions that can be coupled with their existing solar system. And you turn what was once just a transactional customer, a one-time customer, a one and done customer, into a customer that now is a repeat customer for you. It's another chance to engage with them. Ask them how they're enjoying their solar system. Ask them if they know anybody else or if they've been talking to anybody else. It's a way to increase referrals. It's a super smart way to re-engage your customers. It gives you another reason to call, and it's a compelling reason to call based on what people are thinking about today. So I need some brave souls, right? I need some brave souls. I'm going to play the role of the homeowner, and I'd love for somebody who's brave on the line with us today to chime in and say, and role play this out a little bit with me. Let's role play this together. We got to get it out of our heads and out of our lips and start talking through it. So let's role play, helping the customer to understand the problem, using some discovery questions, and then the value proposition that ties back in what the customer is concerned about to the battery solution and the economics behind the battery. Who wants to volunteer? Come on, don't all jump at once. I know you want to volunteer. Anybody? You can do it. Don't be shy or bashful. Put your skills on display. All right, let's see if anybody's open to bribery. I'll send you cool Loanpal swag. Jamie will get your information. I'll send you something cool from Loanpal. Hop in right now. Who's going to do it? Who's going to do it for cool Loanpal stuff?
We got you. Let's do this.
Nice. Who is it? Let's go. I'm going to play the role of the customer. Oh, you guys are going to make me pick on somebody. You know, the most embarrassing thing is when I pick on somebody and then they drop off the call. Right? They're like, I'm good. I'm done. Look, it already happened. Somebody already did it. That's so funny. Who wants to be here with me? Anybody? Oh, you guys are going to make it awkward for me. Alex is going to help out. All right. Can we unmute Alex, please? Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Make sure Jamie gets your info.
All right, Alex, you're free
Okay.
to speak.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
Alex, super brave. Thanks for doing this.
Braveheart.
Really appreciate it. I love it. Love it.
No problem.
So I'm going to be your customer, and I'd like for you to start off. Just ask me some questions that'll help me to understand whether or not I need storage in my life. Sound like a good way to start?
Yeah, no problem. So, but up front, I just want to let you know I'm in HR, and I've been here for a month and a half. So if I butcher this, you can't blame me, okay?
Yeah, that's fair. I like the disclaimer.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Hello, sir. I noticed that we were talking, you were talking to an associate of mine about getting some solar put on your property. And I just wanted to know, have you heard about, using a battery? It's, would there be a need that you and your family might need a battery for backup? And then I might ask a couple questions, get to know them a little bit better and what their needs are.
I like it. I like it. So you went direct with it. I like that approach. That's good. I'm going to ask you to tweak it just a little bit. Is it okay if I give you some feedback on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love it.
Okay. Thanks. So instead of going direct, let's pose the situation as can you imagine?
Okay.
Right. So I'll give you this feedback. Hey, I'll play the role of the salesperson for just a second, and you play the role of customer. Cool.
All right. Sounds good.
Flip the script. All right. So Alex, first of all, thanks for letting me out and talking with me today. I'm super grateful that you allowed me to come into your home and have this conversation with you, especially, with everything that we have going on. If you don't mind me asking, how has the current pandemic affected you personally?
Well, shelter in place. I mean, me and my family are sticking around the house more than ever. So, energy bill has been through the roof.
Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot. Are you and your family all, you're working from home and going to school from home and all that good stuff?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we are working from home for right now. So at least until things calm down.
Got it. More and more folks are telling me that they're working from home, and that this has them thinking about ways and thinking about things that they haven't thought about in the past. More and more folks are telling me that. And one of the questions that I'm getting super consistently is asking about, hey, in the event of a power outage, does a solar system still work? So I'm just going to ask you this question, and you can tell me if this is relevant to you.
Mhm.
If something happened to the power today and the grid went down, what would you want to make sure that you had protected? What's the first thing you would want to make sure you had protected?
Well, that would suck. That would be a huge bummer. I would like to protect the house. Obviously, my kids and my fridge, because we need food to survive. So that's immediately where I go to. I know I was joking around earlier with the PC gaming, but
Yeah,
it's essential. But
you want to make sure that you keep refrigeration going, right?
yeah.
Okay,
So
cool. What's the second thing that you would want to make sure that you had protected?
my security system for my house.
Okay, got it. So we'll make sure the fridge works, make sure that the security system works. What's the third thing that you would want to make sure you had protected?
I think that's pretty much it. That's my immediate concerns if there was a outage.
Got it. Those are the big ones.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what we just did there, Alex, right, was you told me what you were looking for in the event that something happened. And that's really what we're looking to draw out from the customer. We paint a picture. We paint a picture of, hey, this happened. If this happened to you in the current environment, what would you want to make sure that you had power for? And you could word it differently than protected. What would you want to make sure was still working for you? What are the critical things that you would want to make sure you still had power to? There's a lot of different ways that you can word it, but the important thing for you as sales professionals is to make sure that your customer is the one who's telling you exactly what you need. Right?
Excellent.
Like
Yep.
your customer is sharing with you exactly what you need. So then you're going to pop into, Alex, many of the customers that I talk to are telling me the exact same things. They want to make sure that the food in the fridge is safe, right? They don't want to have to worry about that. They want to make sure the alarm system's safe. They want, other things I get are they want to make sure the Wi-Fi works, so they have good communication. They need to make sure that the plugs work, the outlets work, because they're going to be working from home. So those are some things that other folks are telling me as well. Are those all things that are relevant for you in your situation?
Yes.
Okay, good. So if we had a way to make sure that those items were protected in combination with the solar system, that's something that we should probably talk about today then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All we did there, team, and you saw this already, you heard it when we're going through it. We made sure that the customer understood the problem. We used a few discovery questions to uncover what was important to them. We talked a little bit about what we were going to look to protect, and then we made sure that we had a little trial close in there so that the solution is relevant to the customer. We're not pushing anything on the customer. The customer understands we're tailoring something that's specific to them. Now, you've got to make sure that if you're not accustomed to this, or if your traditional approach has been one that's more focused and centered around savings, that you continue to dig in and you continue to ask those questions. Good deal.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep, appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, we'll address the AC as well. So just by a show of yeses and nos in the chat window, and nothing sacred here, team. So you can definitely give me some feedback one way or the other. Do you guys feel like storage will help you to broaden your addressable market, to talk to more people about what you do. Do you feel like storage will help you do that? Yes or no? Just a show in the chat window. Yep. Okay. Okay, good. Good. Awesome. Who's scared to have a conversation about critical loads? Just me. All right. Well, I'll be the guinea pig here. So first of all, I think it's important that we talk with customers about exactly what a kilowatt hour is, because that's how the unit of measure for batteries takes place, right? So we need to be very aware of what a kilowatt hour of energy is. So a little bit of education for some folks. Other folks might have this nailed and down pat. So here's what a kilowatt hour of energy does. A kilowatt hour of energy can power your ceiling fan for 13 hours. It can keep your food, 1 kilowatt hour of energy can keep your food refrigerated for 12 hours. It can freeze your food for 12 hours. This is 1 kilowatt hour. You can open and close your garage door 250 times, Eric, 250 times with 1 kilowatt hour of energy, electricity. You can watch TV for 6 hours. I hope you don't, but you could. You can watch TV for 6 hours. You can use your phone for 9,300 hours. You can use your Wi-Fi for 93 hours. You can power 5 light bulbs for 12 hours. These are the things that you can do with 1 kilowatt hour of energy. Share these things with your customers. Make sure they understand what can happen. If you're worried about level setting, these will help you to level set. I'll send you guys this deck. It'll be available to you from Soligent. Adrian's going to send the deck over, so you'll have the ability to access this if you want to grab any of these fun facts. Now think about what a fully charged battery can do for you. Okay, a fully charged battery can power that same fan, and this is a 10 kilowatt hour battery. Fully charged battery can power that fan for 130 hours. You can refrigerate your food for 120. You can use Wi-Fi for 930 hours or charge your phone for like 10 years. You can watch TV for 60 hours. Please don't watch TV for 60 hours, but you could. If you had a fully charged battery, you could do it. You can power 5 light bulbs for 120 hours. You can open and close that garage door erroneously as many times as you want, up to 2,500 times, and you can use your laptop for 400 hours. Those are all things that you can do with a 10 kilowatt hour battery when it's fully charged. Make it real, team. Make it real for your customers. Help them to understand exactly what it does for them. Help them understand what 1 kilowatt hour does first, and then walk them through what a battery and storage solution can do for them. Now, here's the deal. The AC question. Let's just jump right to the AC question. So if a customer tells you, they're like, hey, the only thing I care about right now is the battery backing up my AC. I don't care about anything else. Food in the fridge, whatever. Lights, not into them. TV, don't watch it, right? And I don't even have a garage door. All I want is my AC to work. You can size a storage solution for that customer to manage that load. But what you have to do is make sure that you go on to one of these websites that helps you to calculate exactly how much you're going to need in terms of a storage solution for that particular need. So I happen to know if you're on a 40 amp breaker, and let's say you have a Tesla Powerwall as your product, you're on a 40 amp breaker, you're going to need 2 power walls in order to support your AC. Right, you'll need 2 power walls to support your AC if you want to back that up. That's going to be the case with most of these, right? Most of these you're going to have, you're going to need to add on more than one battery solution. There's a general calculator as well, just in case you're using a different solution that's not currently listed on here. But these sizing calculators will help you to tailor and customize something that's specific to your area, specific to your client. And after you walk them through the, hey, here's what 1 kilowatt hour can do for you, here's what 10 kilowatt hours of storage solution can do for you, then you can walk them through, is there anything else? Okay. The AC itself, you're going to have a minimum of 2. Right, customers that want to power, like if you have central heating and air, they want to have the solution. You'll be able to go in, you'll go into these battery sizing tools and it'll tell you exactly what you'll need. It depends on the breaker that actual unit is on. So it's going to depend on the existing system that your homeowner has, and these sizing tools will help. So without digging too far into the weeds there, here's some resources for you to go and get that information that you need as it comes up with the customers. So thank you for asking those questions. Just a quick reminder to everybody who is on the call with us, the relationship that we have with Soligent allows you, when you're a Loanpal partner, Loanpal installer, it allows you to sell solar to the borrower. Loanpal then finances the system for the borrower, and then Loanpal pays Soligent and you at the exact same time. So if that's something that you are interested in, if that's something that you want, please get with your Soligent business development professional. They will help you submit all the information needed. Oh, look at that, Jamie, hot on it in the chat window right now with the solar engine solutions, so that you can get that started. So that's it. If you guys have questions on that, please do reach out to your Soligent business development professional and they can help answer some of those questions for you. Here are just a few of the minimum requirements that we have: 100 installations over the company lifetime, and business credit, online reputation, financials, things like that, all taken into consideration when you partner with Loanpal and Soligent. This is my favorite part of talking with folks about new programs that are out there and available. It gives me the opportunity to share something that's near and dear to my heart that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with why you jumped on the call, but is something that's a ripple effect of doing business with Loanpal. So I wanted you to know this. First of all, Give Power is a foundation that's mission is to provide clean drinking water and light to folks in areas that otherwise wouldn't have it available. I personally have been able to participate in some of these treks where we go out and install a solar system to remote communities that never had refrigeration, that didn't have lights for their school. And the impact that you have by doing something substantially better in your local community is felt worldwide when you do business with Loanpal, and Loanpal ultimately supports the Give Power Foundation. Now, you also can support the Give Power Foundation through the Give Partners program. We contribute $20 to provide clean drinking water for people in the developing regions of the world. Clean drinking water costs about $20 for one person for 20 years. Is that not crazy to you? So to get one person clean drinking water for 20 years in an area where they otherwise wouldn't have clean drinking water available, it's only $20. That's nuts, right? Literally for the price of an extra large pizza, you could provide a child in need with clean drinking water for 20 years in an area where they didn't have it available previously. That's part of the Give Partners, the Give Partners Foundation. If anybody's interested in contributing to or becoming a part of Give Partners, it is an organization outside of Loanpal, but it's one that we love. It's one that we promote that does good things for folks in the world. So please know that your contributions are meaningful. 100% of the money that you contribute towards the Give Power Foundation goes to those in need. Loanpal covers 100% of the administration costs for Give Power. Team, super grateful that you jumped on with me today, and thank you for participating in this Soligent webinar. I hope we were able to bring some value to you. I hope you were able to get the message and the mission, which is position solar and storage first. Whenever you're positioning solar, position storage with it. Start with the solar plus storage solution. And if it's not relevant to that particular customer, or if it's financially prohibitive, pull that storage solution off and you still get the solar system itself. Team, thanks so much. I'll stay on the line here for a couple of extra minutes just in case anybody has any additional questions. Appreciate you and your time today. Thank you again so much.